Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to learn about NiFi architecture. So NiFi is basically a Java based application. So we can see that in the architecture is JVM. So mainly Java is hosted on JVM. Apart from that, there will be one web server, flow controller, FlowFile repo, content repo, and the Provenance repository. Further in the video, we are going to see all things in the practical way. So now I will go through with the basic definition of all these things. So web server. The purpose of the web server is to host NiFi's HTTP based command and control API. Flow controller. The flow controller is the brain of the operation. It provides threads for extension to run on and manages the schedule of when extension receives resource to execute. Extensions. There are various types of extensions in which are described in other document. The key point here is that extension operate and execute within the JVM. So profile repo. The profile repo is where NiFi keeps track of the state of what it knows about given profile that is presently active in the flow. The implementation of the repository is pluggable. The default approach is persistent write ahead log located on specific disk partition. So we will going to see where it's stored in the future part of this video. Content repo. The content repo is where the actual content bytes of given profile live. The implementation of the repository is pluggable. The default approach is a fairly simple mechanism which stores block of data in the file system. More than one file system storage location can be specified so as to get different physical partition engaged to reduce content on any single volume. Provenance repo. The provenance repository where all the provenance event data is stored. The repository construct is pluggable with the default implementation being to use one or more physical disk volumes. Within each location, event data is indexed and searchable. So now we are going to move forward to see the NiFi GUI and the things are repository all on the local system. So this is the basic UI of NiFi. So in which this is one process group which is already created by me, which names is Pius, in which there is one generate flow file processor and one is log attribute. So we can move this anywhere, and if we do the run once, so it will going to generate one flow file. So this thing is flow file one. So we will learn further more in details of this. And if I run this also, so this one is called also. So if I click on here and click on this view data provenance, so it's searching and it will provide me all the provenance. So provenance is nothing, it's just event of the previous attribute flow files, so in which we can see the time, type of it, flow file id, component id. In attribute, if you have added any attribute like file name, path, uuid, so all these things we can check. Also if any content is there, so we can also check that. So yeah, this is basic NiFi GUI. So if we look forward like architecture, we see that there will be the three repository. So if we go here, so we can check that there is flow file repo, provenance repo, content repo, and database repo. So it's basically in our NiFi setup only. So NiFi doesn't have any MySQL kind of database, only no SQL database. It store all things on the local file system itself, and all this processor related stuff it store into the flow.json. So if we open the flow.json, it something look like this. So JSON file is there, in which, as I told you, there is a process group. So we see that there is process group name Pius. Further we go that in that process group there is processors, and one processor we can check that there is a generate flow file, and one more processor is there. If we go below, yeah, here we can see that the log attribute. So we can see that NiFi doesn't store anything in the MySQL, and like it's never store anything in SQL or no SQL database. It store only in the file system, which is flow.json. So yeah, this is basic architecture of NiFi. in future videos we will going to learn how we can install NiFi on our local system. So yeah, that's all about for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys.